Welcome to the future of gaming. I'm Invincible, and this is a Playable Games Weekly update. This week, we will meet two of our lead developers making Nexus. But first, let's take a look at this week's Playable Games news. We've received an update regarding the trading of Bullcoin at Bitmart, and I'm excited to share with you that trading Bullcoin is making a comeback. By the time you're watching this video, all users should have regained access to their tokens on the platform. This development adds to the growing list of platforms where you can trade Bullcoin. Now we have not one, not two, but 4 places where you can exchange Bullcoins. Rejoining the existing platforms, LBank, MEXC, and Trader Joe, Bitmart is now live and ready to cater to our community's growing trading needs. It's an exciting time for our community as we continue to expand our reach and provide more opportunities for our users. We have some news for all of you Nexus enthusiasts out there. It's time to gear up with a brand new skin for your character. Introducing the Hornet skin. The Hornet skin is sure to sting your opponents with fear in Nexus, and we're thrilled to offer it exclusively on our marketplace for Bullcoin. We aren't done yet. Feast your eyes on the Dragon skin. This skin will transform your character into a fierce mythical creature that will command respect from your opponents on the Nexus battlefield. Also exclusive to our marketplace and can only be purchased with Bullcoin. It's been an incredible week for our community, and we couldn't be happier to witness the enthusiasm in our Discord chat as our Bullcoin doubled in value. But you know what's even more amazing? Thinking about what it will be like when the coin experiences a full 10x. Now, let's take a moment to shed some light on our over-the-counter purchases, which we offer on a case-by-case basis. We require a minimum of $20,000 for an OTC deal, and these OTC purchases provide our community with an additional opportunity to acquire Bullcoin outside of regular trading. We have brought in OTC deals for larger purchases so investors don't inflate the price on themselves and get less coin for their money. We are all one big happy Bull family. So, what exactly does an OTC purchase of Bullcoin look like? Well, let me give you a brief example. Here's a sample over-the-counter coin purchase agreement. In this agreement, the buyer, represented by their name, agrees to purchase a set amount of Bullcoin, referred to as X from our company, Playable Games. The price of X will be mutually agreed upon by both parties before executing the agreement. To ensure a secure transaction, the purchase and holding of X will be facilitated through a smart contract. This smart contract will hold the X amount of Bullcoin for a lockup period of 12 months, starting from the agreement's execution date. Once the 12-month lockup period concludes, the smart contract will unlock the purchased Bullcoin for the buyer. At that point, the buyer will have the option to sell 10% of the total X amount per week, allowing for the controlled selling over a duration of 10 weeks to prevent any potential market disruptions. We hope this information empowers our community and provides a deeper understanding of the opportunities available. As always, stay tuned right here every week for more updates on the exciting world of playable games and the latest developments with Bullcoin. Now, I'd like to introduce Knowledgeable and Flammable. This is a segment from a conversation between Old Bull and our 2 lead gaming developers. The full conversation will be listed on our Discord.
I'm the Old Bull, Playable Games, and with me today is our head of games, Daniel Visser, and his 2IC, Beau Barnet, who are the leading dev team guys in the Playable Games team. They own a company called Glinda Games. And Daniel, being our head of games, basically saved us from disaster with one of the games we bought where the dev team just wasn't capable of actually finishing it. So I feel very lucky that Woodsy introduced me to Daniel, and obviously Daniel introduced me to you. You know, so that was just, Woodsy is a childhood friend of my oldest son, and they used to play Counter-Strike together, and, you know, there was, I reached out to Woodsy and said, mate, I've hit the jackpot, got a crypto company that's done really well, I'm in over my head, I need a gaming expert, do you know anyone? And he goes, Jono, I know about 5 people. And so he introduced me to all those people. I went and met them all. And out of those 5 people, the one that stood out to me was Daniel. And we went back and said, Daniel, what can we do together? How can we work together? And can you help me by being an advisor? That's how it started. And obviously the Revan thing tripped it on its head, and we ended up having to break Daniel's dreams of retiring and got him back in the saddle. Part of running companies is understanding that you got to know exactly who you are and what stage of life you're in, and then what do I need to fill in the parts I can't do. And if you're the sort of boss that just is forever scared someone's going to do something better than you, then you're fucked. Because I actually, the whole reason I hired you, Daniel, was because you knew more than me. That's what I needed. There was no use me trying to tell you what to do. I need someone who knows much more about video games than me to stop me making the mistakes that I would have gone on to make had I tried to do this myself. So
I used to hire programmers who were better than me. Like in the same way, I was like, "There's a programmer that knows more than me.
Knows
he's got
more
better
than
maths. He's got better experience." That's and we always looked for that. We in our mission and values statements, we didn't want any egos. We didn't, we wanted a collaborative share. If someone was good, you need that. You want to harness that. You get to a point where ego doesn't really matter anymore, and success is more important. And you end up investing in people at the end of the day. I think
that's right. And I mean, ego is a young man's game as well.
Exactly.
That's why the guy, our team at the moment, it's almost a flat management. Everyone is an A player. They bounce off each other. Everyone just gets in there and does what's required. When if everyone was younger, or you had a young boss who wants to, enjoys being the boss and telling people what to do, I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I just want to do what I'm good at and leave the other guys to do what they're good at.
A lot of people have asked, they want to know more about Wicked Witch. Obviously, that's your big success, Daniel, where you founded a company and spent, I think one of the stories you told me once was you spent the first 4 years drunk, having parties every day, and then suddenly you had a successful game and thought, shit, we better grow up and make a gaming company. So tell me about the beginning of that. And obviously, I've just simplified that into some sort of glorious story.
That's more or less true. So I'd worked at a few studios. I'd finished college, and then I worked at a company called Taurus Games, and then I went to a company called Melbourne House, which is like a big institution in Australia. One of the first game developers in the world, by the way, 1979. I think they were formed. And as a kid, I used to buy Melbourne House games, so I was very happy to work there and be a programmer. And then I went back to Taurus for a few years as a lead programmer and a producer. And then at some point, I'd always been making video games, so I had the idea to start our own studio. And back in the day, this is kind of before there was an indie scene, but we were very much an indie game developer. And we were living the dream at the start. We were making games on contract and making original titles, and we could make our own hours. We could have some beers in the office if we want. We could take a break and play World of Warcraft, which was when the beta of that came out. I often say it was more like a club than a game studio at the start. It was friends and people we knew and other veterans from the industry. There was only a handful of us working out of a 2-bedroom unit, making video games. We were kind of just passion driven and a bunch of like-minded guys working together. And then, as you say, we started making games for Telstra on mobile phones, and we started making games for the AFL. And then somewhere along the line, we got more work and more clients. We went from 7 people to 12 people to 15 people to 20 people, and then we realized we were a legitimate business, and that we needed some structure. We needed probably some discipline, and you can't live forever, working all hours of the day or work on the weekends or whatever. And you have to have employees, and then you need to do accounting, and then you got to do your taxes and all that kind of thing. And it kind of became a real thing. In the end, we grew. I think in our peak we were 80 something people. We'd become the largest independent Australian-owned games company. We're on the board of the Game Developers Association of Australia. We're working with universities. We're educating, TAFEs and helping shape courses, and giving talks, and helping out on government roundtables to facilitate policy for funding within the industry, and it all kind of escalated. We learned a lot. We learned that accounting is important. For example, I was never a great accountant. Actually, the way I learned to run a business was from SimCity. That's where I learned. That's where I learned what a balance sheet was.
It's lucky I don't have to have that as my. I can't.
That's where I learned.
I've never completed a game of SimCity. I can't get it past the whatever stage.
But that was it. Like I was a programmer and a game maker. I wasn't a businessman. So it was really me being the CEO and the managing director was really a means to an end for us to get our creative outlet.
So where does WeeklyWedge end up? You obviously don't run it now, so why?
Right. So look, it was 20 years. It was just after our 20th year anniversary. There was a lot of blood, sweat and tears in that, not only by me, but also by my colleagues. A lot of sacrifices, a lot of hard work, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day for 20 odd years. A lot of ups and downs, like I said, GFC, COVID, multiple times between projects, lots of ups and downs. We'd gotten ourselves into a position where we had some kind of blue chip clients, like working with the publisher with the AFL, with Rugby Union. We'd had some mobile successes. We're working with Microsoft on Age of Empires. We'd entered into some contracts with Warner Brothers, and things were on an upward curve. And then it really came almost down to a personal decision. Like I found myself, I started WeeklyWedge because I love video games and I'm passionate about video games, and I enjoy making them. And I was a programmer at the start, and then I realized I was really just doing accounting and managing a business. Yeah, exactly. And somewhere along the line, without me quite noticing that just changed and shifted into that. And if I'm being perfectly honest, it wasn't as enjoyable at that point. And there was a part of me that wanted to get back to the creative side of things. We were acquired in the end. After a year of negotiation, we were acquired by a company called Keywords, which is an international organization which is very aggressive in expanding. They saw Melbourne as a real hotspot, as did multiple other companies. And so, opportunity knocks. We split the company in two. We kept all the IP and the technology and things like that. And they took the name and the processes and the people. And we got to have a bit of a win and prepare ourselves for the next chapter, basically.
Well, I think that's something that most people probably don't know about what we've done, is that when the GG team, when Daniel said, okay, well, to fix this problem you've got, we're going to need to put together an elite team of guys that don't need to be managed, who wake up in the morning, and when I say, I need this done, that's all I need to say, because they know how to do it. They know what to do. They've done it 100 times before. And you've built a team probably for the first time in your career that is literally just the best of the best. So
that's right.
And that's how you achieved what you've achieved in such a short period of time.
Yeah. At WeeklyWedge, it was a lot larger. There was like 80 plus people. So we were bringing in juniors. We had training regimes. We had mentorship, and people would move up from junior to mid-level. We always had that veteran thing as well. Kind of 1/3 each: 1/3 juniors, 1/3 mids, and 1/3 veterans. Yep. But when we were analysing the challenges for Playable and what needed to be done and where Glinda Games wanted to go, we realised that there's really no replacement for experience at the end of the day.
There's a question for you, Beau. Daniel actually grabbed you and said, "You're coming with me to America to look at the Revan team." Yes. And this is not a dump on Revan. That's not the idea of this. I just want to make it clear to everyone who's involved with our community can you just explain in simple terms what happened there? Like a lot of people don't understand that we went to America to help them fix the game because the game was not working. The game was not going to make it the way it was. So can you just explain what happened when you turned up, and then just a brief overview?
So we turned up, and a lot of the team went there, and we went, oh, that's a bit strange.
Yeah, so you got a 12-person team, and there were how many there?
3, maybe.
3 out of 12.
And we were like, well, you better get them down here. And I can understand the point of view because the team was young, and when you're young, you think you know everything. But we did say to them, hey, we're here to help. We've made all the mistakes in the world. We're here to tell you, don't do this, don't do that. Do it this way. We've got to release the game. We'll help you in any way that we can. We suggest that you do A, B, C, D. Even small things like with their office, paint the walls, get a big whiteboard, put a couch in the corner, make it a place for people to come and, want to work out of and hang out and all the rest of it. These are the things you should be doing with your game. You should optimize it to work on low GPUs, because, it works great on a 3080, so it should. You should dial this back, you should dial that back. There's no harm in admitting that you've done the wrong thing, and there's no harm in starting again. And we're here to help. We've got a team. We can help you guys out. Essentially, they went the opposite direction and said, you guys don't know what you're doing. Even though we said, hey, we've released 200 games between us, you guys haven't released one. At some point, we know
for me,
what we're doing.
That was the real turning point when you guys got on a phone call to me and said, Jono, we've told them to do this, this, and this, and they're just ignoring us. And that was, for me, the first time I thought, shit, we're in real trouble, because if they're not going to listen to the experts.
Turned around, and I remember standing in Marquette on that main street, and I turned down and I said, well, fuck it. Let's just make it ourselves. We know we can do it, and we know we can make it better. These guys are taking the piss. They're taking the money. They're not listening to us. This is an awesome opportunity for anyone, and they don't want it. Because if they wanted it, they would do what the publisher is asking them to do, and they would also take the help of veterans. But again, they were young, and this is a lesson that they have to learn.
Yeah,
they won't do it a second time.
They hadn't learned from their mistakes and things like that. It was their first game, just out of uni, and making games is serious business, especially with what Playable is trying to achieve. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, it was our conclusion that their inexperience meant they really weren't up to the task, unfortunately.
Time is money, and you can't walk around, going, look at me, I'm a game developer. You got to ship it, move on to the second one, third one, fourth one. Well, if you don't hate your first version, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think one of the things that stood out for me, Beau, was when you were talking to me in one of the calls in that time, and you said, Daniel and I have spent our whole lives literally worrying about next month's bills, because when you're a game developer, that's how it is. You got a whole group of people to pay. The money's coming in lump sums and not week to week. And crypto allows a very interesting change in that, where we can actually make the money flow more regularly and give you a chance to just be game devs and not have to try and be business people. And
correct, which is what I mean. We have to do a little bit because we still have our own company, but we don't have to chase the work and do a job for this amount of money and then do another one for this amount of money and then burn all that money, and then your focus is all over the place. If you know it's done, you've got your budget, you can just focus on making a game. Exactly what you said. All of those extraneous stresses go away. So
and we could see it. It was like black and white to us. They were nice enough guys and girls who were working together, and they meant well and everything, but they just massively underestimated the task at hand, and unfortunately, it just really wasn't at the standard that Playable Games needed.
No, because you can't release something that isn't great.
Well, if we do, we just condemn ourselves to another crypto company, and that's not our goal. Our goal is to release a game that, I've said from the very beginning, I don't need to have the best game ever made, but we do need to have a game that when you play it, you can appreciate that A, it's been built well, and B, it's fun to play. And as long as we achieve those two things and have the crypto side, we're going to have a really successful game.
That's exactly right. So and we're all about making great games. So, and we know how to do it, and we've done it before.
So you've been involved in bringing to market 200 plus games between the pair of you. How would you rate Nexus out of those 200 games?
So I'll start by saying that there's only been a handful of times in my career where I've been working on games, and before it's finished, you can tell that there's something special. I can remember them clearly because they're those kind of moments. It's like creating a song when you go, ooh, there's a good riff, there's a good hook. And you get this early, even before the thing's finished, there's something there. And sometimes it's
unquantifiable. I said to Daniel the other day, there's a kart racing game made by Nickelodeon. There's one by Disney. There's one by Sega, a Sonic one. There's one by Ryan, that little YouTube dude. There are dozens, but you pick up Mario Kart and you play it, and there's something about it that feels right at that secret source, and Nexus has that. You pick it up and you play it, and it's smooth and it glides, and you can understand, and everything makes sense, and and there's no long tutorials, and there's no extraneous screens, and there's no little cards that you collect, and there's no little boxes that you have to log in 4 days in a row to get. There's none of that. You get in there, you play it like Quake, you get in there,
Doom.
You get in there, action starts, away you go, and you're only as good as you are. So, it really does have something.
Out of the 100, 200 games that I've made, there's only been a handful that felt good off the bat and have had that secret source. And I think it was a few months into development on Nexus, on our version, we realized that there was just something fun and something accessible about it, and it wasn't just me who felt it. We all felt it. The whole team kind of felt it. We're like, hey, we're onto something here. As long as we don't fuck it up and we keep making it better. So definitely Nexus is off to a really strong start for sure. And now that we're coming in at the end of development, and like you said, John, we're not EA and we're not Ubisoft, right? We're competing in a different echelon of game development, but sometimes you have indie successes, and sometimes you just strike upon something that's fun. And I think it's a testament to the Glinda Games team in the way we've all kind of come together. We know what the mission is. We know what works, and we know what doesn't from some of our experience.
That's right.
And Nexus seems to just have all the ingredients so far.
Where do you see the sort of games we're going to be able to build and what we've got to offer in the future?
I see a massive opportunity for Playable Games. Part of the reason that we enjoy working with Playable Games and why we are making this content together is because this is a new emerging technology, a new emerging space. Call it Web3, call it crypto, call it whatever you want. But this is the future. I think there's a real opportunity for Playable Games to release quality content that people want to play, and that embraces these new technologies in a seamless and usable fashion. A lot of people are trying, a lot of people are failing, some people are getting it right. It's new, and I think our experience teamed with your experience is setting us up for a really exciting future where where people who love video games and love technology are going to see the marriage of all these things delivered in a great source of entertainment. Look, at the end of the day, I love video games. I've loved them since I was 6 years old. So I agree with Beau. I feel a sense of excitement, the fact that we can make original content that's new and innovative and fun to play with a great company like Playable Games, who is awesome to work with and is a really good team. We all seem aligned. Making games is hard. It's a difficult business. It's a difficult thing. So the fact that we've got some veterans with a excited community, where we're in with a good shot, actually, and the proof will be in the pudding, man. Like, people play these games. Heaps of games come out all the time, and I'm quietly confident that people are going to respond. People are going to respond to what we're doing, and people are going to have fun. You only keep playing games if they're fun. At the end of the day, you only watch a movie again if it's good,
really good.
And content is king at the end of the day. So we're going to do our best. We're going to work closely with you guys. We're going to work closely with the community, and we're going to just continue to deliver good content.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I hope you all enjoyed that look into the behind the scenes here at Playable Games. Remember to represent your favorite gaming studio by acquiring merch at playablegames.store. We've got stickers, hats, hoodies, shirts, and more. You can trade Bullcoin on Trader Joe, LBank, Mexi, and Bitmart. CoinMarketCap currently shows the price at 0.0007 or 0.07 of a penny. The market cap is currently $3.12 million. I hope you all learned something this week during our recap, and if you did, please like the video to tell YouTube to share it with other likely viewers. Subscribe for more Playable Games content and hit that bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. I'm Bruno, aka Invincible, and I'll see you all again next week.